You know that crazy energy that you've been picking up on that's been floating around for weeks and weeks and weeks, making you feel like you're just dead, depleted, exhausted, fatigued. Well, the community is going to blame it on Mercury retrograde and Mars conjunct, and it's the same stuff because, as I've said before, astrology belongs to them. The truth is, what you're actually experiencing is a very real thing. It's attributed to the foods that you're eating and these towers that they just put online. You could see something just went online, that's for sure. I mean, some sort of major grid just recently went online. You won't hear about it in the news or anything like that because they're not going to inform you of it. But when you physically feel exhausted, like in other words, you've just like ran 50 miles and you just feel like you're just dead on your feet, there's a reason behind that. Um, the sad truth is that whenever I go grocery shopping, I am the only one in that entire store that actually takes the product, turns it around, and actually puts my glasses on and reads the nutritional labels from top to bottom, scouring the box or the bag or the package or the container for any semblance of the words bioengineered, anything like that. Emulsifiers, meaning gum, xanthine gum, locust bean gum, guar gum, anything like that. Anything that says gum is emulsifier to poison, and natural flavors are not natural. Anytime titanium dioxide, silicon dioxide, those are nanoparticles. Any type of heavy metals like aluminum in baking goods because they use it as a decaking agent, or you have aluminum in deodorant. As soon as you put the deodorant in your armpit, the aluminum from the deodorant works its way into your bloodstream within I think 17 seconds, and it's already in your brain. So you have all these heavy metals floating around in your bloodstream that are working in tandem with these towers and satellites that they've just put online. And you have Starlink, which has the EMP, electromagnetic pulse, which is what mimics the implosion of a hydrogen bomb. It ejects this magnetic shock wave that blows out every electrical device. I don't know what the circumference radius is. I don't know if it's 20 miles or something like that. But anything electrical, it'll knock it right out. So he's got that flying around at night. So, God knows what they have intended to do with that. But anyway, it's just a little reminder for you. Just this is the reason why when you lose your natural survival instincts and you don't grow your own food and you're not off the grid, then you're subject to the poisons that they're feeding you. Like with the produce, the little barcode stickers on the produce, there's a code that can tell you if it's GMO or not. You'd have to look it up online. I don't remember it offhand, but that'll tell you if it's genetically modified organisms, which is just poison. That's the reason why you see lemons the size of a softball. And when you touch the skin, it just crumbles and deteriorates. There's no flexibility to these things. Strawberries are the size of your fists. That's not natural. And they have no flavor. They're very dry because it's unnatural. It's artificial. It's almost like a hybridized prototype of something that's supposed to look like a strawberry, but it isn't because they're actually feeding you products, not food. So that's why it's important for you to live off the grid, learn how to grow your own fruits and vegetables, and just you don't need them. The indigenous peoples never knew cancer. They never knew anything like this. They didn't know titanium dioxide and microwave towers. This is all post-industrial revolution with pollution and all of the things that come with it. What they call progress, automation, industrialization, so on and so forth. In the times of Christ, thousands of years ago, everything was pure. The only thing that was going up in the sky was smoke from wood being burned. That's it. This Earth was completely different. The ozone wasn't depleted. There wasn't mercury in the oceans. The soils weren't polluted. The air was clean, free, and just pure. So just give you a heads up that crazy energy going around. It's the stuff that's in your food that you're not reading the labels because Americans don't have patience to do anything except run back to the car and watch TikTok, and they don't have the necessary concentration and focus to actually care what they're putting in their body. So this is the direct result of a society that has no focus or attention span um, at all to actually analyze what you're actually putting in your body. And don't forget, I've said before, manufacturers of any products that or consumption of for human beings as far as food are not at liberty to disclose 100% of the active ingredients in their products. I think it's something like less than 60%. So I think something like 40 something percent they'll never tell you. So this is just a reminder. that the reason why you get that crazy energy and those crazy feelings, it's attributed to this, but not just this. There's other things going on that they won't tell you, of course. But anyway, just try to read your labels. I mean, the last 2 years they've been saturating the markets with bioengineered food ingredients in everything, candy, bubblegum. I mean, I've seen it in everything. High fructose corn syrup is a synthetic sweetener that's horrible for you. It shuts down the hypothalamus portion of your brain. That's the portion of your brain that tells you when you're empty and when you're full. In other words, when you're hungry and when you're full. And unfortunately, it throws that switch off. This is the reason why America is the morbidly obese capital of the world, because it just turns that switch off, and you just keep eating and eating, and you never get the sensation of being satiated or full because of that garbage. And they've been doing it to you for years. When I was a kid in the 70s, they had Sweet and Low. That's just cancer in a packet right there. Just because of that stuff, how many millions of people died of cancer? Absolutely. So anyway, this is what explains it. They're going to tell you it's Mars retrograde, or Mercury conjunct to Saturn, or whatever nonsense they come up with. If you notice in their astrology, they only refer to the 9 planets, and if you look into the universe, there's infinite planets. So don't you think that's a little odd and strange and curious as to why we have an infinite universe and they're only referring to like 9 of them? Think about that for a minute. Just go look, get yourself an app, a star map app, where you can, like Star Trek or whatever it is, and you could see it just goes on forever. So they're only referring to the Saturn, Mercury, Venus, the usual ones. Okay, well, Mercury's in retrograde, that's why you feel like you have no energy. Then this is doing this. The moon is in conjunct to the sun, and all that. It's just nonsense. They made it up. Astrology is I think astrology is a very old science, but astronomy is the world's oldest science, which it's the same thing as far as the same click is, telling you about the stars and naming things. So it's one and the same, actually. It's just that one is given more validity because it's more science based, which is astronomy. But astrology is given more of like a mystical type of connotation because it's, spiritual, but it's not spiritual. It's just packaged as spirit, but it has nothing to do with it. It's just more propaganda. So you can't deny the fact of what you're feeling physically. And and this has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and for a long time. And now that they put these towers online, it's going to just intensify. You see people are getting more short-tempered, more aggressive, more violent. That's because the food that you're eating is working in tandem with these microwave towers. Do your research, because I always encourage you to do your research on what I'm saying. Don't take what I'm saying at face value. Always do your research, because nanoparticles most certainly do work in tandem with microwaves. And this is a direct result of it. But this is just one of the things that they're doing. But they won't succeed. This is just more of the, take over the world, total global domination, James Bond, evil, nonsense, the nemesis and all that, it's all the same garbage, because don't forget, the same people doing this are the same people who wrote all those movies. It's just coming from the same place. But just peace, love, stay healthy, and please, please, ladies and gentlemen, read your labels when you shop, no matter what. And it's very, very, very dangerous to eat out because you don't know what you're eating. And they're not providing you with the nutrition labels of what they're serving you. So be cautious, because what you're eating may just kill you.